All right, Eddie, let's start off with the show tonight. Been a lot going on this week in New York City.
Yeah.
A lot of energy, a lot of drama. Are you looking forward to this fight living up to what's been happening outside of the ring this week?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a fan. So, because I'm so in love with the sport and so invested in the sport as a fan, I think I've got a really good understanding of what is exciting and what we can look forward to.
Yeah.
And this is a fight I look forward to because for Richie, he's actually had a phenomenal run with us. When I was actually thinking about it today, like when he left Mayweather Promotions, it was a young, undefeated kid that was nowhere near a world title, had no profile, really. And then we went out, we boxed him on the undercard here. Then he headlined in Orlando against Cepeda. Then he headlined against Lemos in Las Vegas. Then he headlined in Puerto Rico against Paro to win the world title. Now he's headlining at MSG against Kambosos. So I think Richie hasn't quite got the credit that he deserves. And I think this is the fight that could help him get there. For Kambosos, who I've grown to really like as well, because he's a tenacious little fucker. Like he's really like, and that's what, you know, this whole thing at the moment about, and I like it from Turkey as well, you know, like the Tom and Jerry stuff and stuff like that. You know what you're going to get with Kambosos. He's desperate to win, desperate. And he's got money, so he's not here for the payday. He's just here for a bit of legacy. Yeah. And he'll be very tough to beat tonight. Richie's the better fighter, skill-wise, but it'll be interesting to see how he deals with the occasion as well.
And in terms of what's next for the winner, Puello's aligned with the PBC, same with Gary Antoine Russell. Nobody really knows what's happening with Teofimo Lopez. Yeah. Those are the three other title holders in the division. Where do you see the winner of this fight going in terms of their position?
I mean, Kambosos, when I signed him, has already kind of said, when I beat Hitchins, I want to run it back with Teo, which obviously they've got history, you know. For Richie, I think Richie against Teofimo Lopez is a great fight. Two kids out of Brooklyn, you know, it's a good fight. See if he moves to 47. I don't really understand the desire for Teo to move to 47. I don't think he needs to, physically. Mm-hmm. Like when he hydrated and they weighed in for the last show, he was like 145 pounds. Yeah. So I'm not so sure, but also, you know, there's good opportunities now for people to work together because we've got an open path with PBC, we're talking to them, we work with Golden Boy a lot now, so Puello against Matias, the winner's got to fight Dalton Smith, which is our guy. Russell, you know, could be a fight there. And we'll see what happens with the likes of, you know, Keyshawn moving up, those kind of guys.
Thank you.
Speaking of the Keyshawn thing, could there be a possibility of Keyshawn versus Richardson Hitchins?
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows what's happening with Keyshawn? I mean, something's not right about him, you know, and he's got to deal with that. And I don't know him well enough to know what's going on, but something's going on. And I think he's got to come back. He'll be up at 140 now. I guess he'll use the opportunity with the WBO to put himself in what might be a mandatory position, you know, which is potentially for Teofimo. Then if Teofimo moves up, he could be fighting for the vacant title. So yeah, I think Keyshawn is obviously going to be around at 140.
The other day, Eddie, we had talked about boots, and you know, you confirmed that more than likely he's going to 154. That made its way around social media, and then like his path forward became like the conversation online a little bit. You know, Virgil seems to be out, but you spoke about that being a potential fight. What do you think is the most realistic option if it's not Virgil? Could it be Tellez? He's got the interim 154 title. You know, could it be maybe a different guy? You know, Murdzaliev is out there. He's you know.
I think like there's no final decision from Boots yet, and he'll make that decision and he'll announce in due course. But you know, one of the reasons that we didn't jump at the Teo fight is because of the weight and because it's a real possibility that he's going to move to 54. So they asked us if we'd fight Virgil Ortiz on August 16th. We said yes. And then they said Virgil wasn't available in August. He's not going to fight till later in the year. So we now say we'll probably fight in August, September, and then we're up for Virgil Ortiz as well. November, December, whenever. For us, I think it would be good to have that kind of interim fight. I like the Bohachik fight, you know, Mendoza, Thurman, like whoever. I spoke to Louis de Cubas from PBC and said, let me know who you've got at 154. I don't think people are going to be jumping out to fight him, if I'm honest. But you know, there's a decent payday there and a big fight.
Got it.
Looking at 175, Eddie, we've got obviously Beterbiev, Bivol. Right under that, we've got a crop of title contenders, especially out of England. The one that I'm going to ask you about is obviously Callum Smith,
Yeah.
rumored to be taking on David Benavidez. What's the status of that fight and what's going on with Callum Smith right
So
now?
we've had an offer from PBC for Callum Smith to fight Benavidez. We're negotiating with them at the moment. It's a great fight, and we all know that Benavidez is a great fighter. You know, it's not an easy fight at all. Callum was the Ring Magazine world champion at 168 pounds. He'd love another shot at the title. There's no easy championship at 175. You know, you've either got Bivol or Benavidez. So there is a very good chance that Callum will take that fight against Benavidez, and we'll be making our decision over the next 1 or 2 weeks.
So that would be an offer for a fight here in the United States
Yeah.
for Callum.
Yeah.
Eddie, you know, and Tank, he's got his hands full. He's got a rematch coming up with Lamont Roach soon, and no guarantee that fight goes his way. But, you know, beyond that, you've got two fighters, one who's been calling him out for a long time in Shakur, and now Richardson Hitchins, you know, in the mix, and it seems like they've been going back and forth. Is that a fight? I mean, obviously, I know you love to get Tank in with either of those guys, but you think there's any more potential with Richardson Hitchins than there was with Shakur?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Heyman's going to want to do with Tank. Like, he's got the fight with Roach coming up. Is that dates up?
August 16th.
as well, yeah. So, you know, that's a tough fight. But then after that, who is there for him to fight? You know, I think that's the same with Shakur. You know, when Shakur beats Zepeda, you know, he could attempt to unify. Obviously, you've got Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes. You've got Andy Cruz, he's going to fight. Touch wood, he wins tonight. He's going to fight Murataya for the IBF world title. So there's those unification fights for Shakur, but you know, the fight really is Shakur v Tank, but it's just a case of whether Tank and their team would want to accept that.
What do you think is the holdup there? Is it just like because I'm sure Tank is not afraid of Shakur, but you think is it like pride getting in his way, or maybe the online
I
talk?
don't know, yeah,
or?
but like, to be honest with you, Shakur is unbelievably humble about that fight. You know, where he goes, I'm the B-side, I'm getting less money, I understand. So, I don't know. It's just whether Tank or Heyman want to give him that fight.
Let's just say in a theoretical world, because again, they've been going back and forth. They are in different weight classes by 5 pounds, but Richardson Hitchins versus Tank. How do you see that fight going if it were to ever happen?
Richardson's going to be tough for anybody to beat. You know, I mean, you see that tonight. But again, the problem is with Richardson, and this was the problem with Boots, but we built Boots now, is that people will use the excuse of, he's not that big a name, or he doesn't have that kind of profile, as an excuse not to fight him. So we built Boots, he started selling out arenas, now you get great money to fight him. But the problem is, with Richie, you don't yet. So tonight it's a step towards that. You know, because everyone, why would I fight Richardson Hitchins? It's like that. When someone says that, that means they're very good and they're tough to beat. Do you know what I mean? So if they weren't, they'd just fight them.
Gotcha. Thank you, Eddie.
Brian Norman Jr.'s fight